Daughtrey. I'm a fireman at Russellville Fire Department here in Russellville, Alabama. And so the idea of becoming a fireman came from when I was a little kid. I think it's every little boy's dream to either be a fireman or a police officer or something like that. And apparently I'd always talked about it growing up, and I didn't really think much of it later on in life whenever I got into high school and college some. And then after about a year in college, I came back to my hometown and I kind of just started praying about what I needed to do with my life and what God wanted me to do with my life. And the more I prayed about it, the more I thought that this might be a good thing to try out. And so I started volunteering at the local fire department. And the more I was around everybody, the more I kind of fell in love with the brotherhood and the camaraderie and just being able to have another family in a way. And so I really enjoyed that. So then after that, at some point, I finally just I kept talking about possibly becoming a fireman, how it was a great dream of mine to do that. And at some point, God opened the doors for me to be able to do all the school or to take the tests that I needed to take to get hired on. And then the rest is history pretty much. Yeah, so one of the things, it helped me in a way because, you know, when I graduated high school, I kind of had my whole life planned out and the idea of what I was going to do with my life, where I was going to go to school and everything. But then as I was going through the school, I kind of just felt like something was always missing. And I felt like, then I started reflecting, and I overthink a lot as it is. So I started overthinking some of my life choices, and I was homesick, and there was a lot of other stuff that was going on. And so I kind of thought about the biggest reason why I left Russellville and why I decided to go 2 hours away. And I guess for me with that, it was just I wanted to get away because everybody knew me and everybody knew my story, and I kind of wanted to have a fresh start. But then while I was away, I realized that maybe some of the things that had happened in my life there in Russellville was going to help kind of, it already molded me to be the man I am today, but maybe some of those things that had happened kind of planted some seeds in my head about firefighting. Like one thing was when I was a little kid, I had me and my sister went to this gas station across the street from the fire department downtown, and a lot of stuff was happening and she was getting made fun of, and then I got in trouble because I started basically defending her, but in a stupid way pretty much. I'm not going to get into all that, but anyways, but then a fireman came over and he's the one that got on to me and basically just kind of punished me in a way. But with that situation, I kind of thought back to like how when he called the police to come take me home, and I was a little kid, but he had called the police to take me home. And, you know, that was, I guess, mostly to kind of like scare me, to kind of get me to do the right thing. So, which it did help, but I kind of, that's how deep I overthink. I was thinking about if he wouldn't have done that, then I wouldn't have met that officer who in turn changed my life because he helped me. Some of the things that had happened between me and him had helped me to kind of have that idea of how about becoming a police officer or fireman. But, you know, I was thinking, what if that never would have happened? What if that one fireman, whoever he was, might not have done what he done? Then I might not be the fireman that I am now. But like I say, with that, plus I went to school at Shelton State Community College, which is right in front of the Alabama Fire College. So I saw them doing all kinds of stuff all the time, and I kept seeing the fires and just different things, and I just fell in love with that too. I've always liked the lights and the sirens and the fire and all that. So I mean, it's kind of, it all helped make me, I guess, helped me to make my decision to come back and try to pursue firefighting. So I think it's different in every place because, like, in some cities they don't do volunteers. Like the city of Tuscaloosa, they don't have volunteers because they're a fully paid department. But here in Russellville, it's both. We have a paid department, but we have volunteers. And so for us, it was not that hard in a way. So when I first came back, I tried to become a volunteer. I got the application and I filled it out, but then I guess things happened and I guess I kind of got lost in the shuffle. So then about 6 or 7 months go by and I'm in EMT school trying to get my EMT certification, and I meet a fireman, and then he helps me, and he works at Russellville, and so he helped me to be able to meet the chief. And once I met the chief, I guess that was my way in. So he gave me an application, and within 2 weeks, they took it to the city council, and the city council approved for me to become a volunteer, which they had to do a background check and the normal stuff, So then once I became a volunteer, I did that for about nearly 3 years, I want to say. And during that time, I would talk about wanting to do full time, and then sometimes I would just want to stay a part time. But at some point, I guess the door was opened up for me to. I guess it was that aha moment. At some point, I realized this could be my last chance, to become a fireman. So I needed to just take it, and so I took. That's when I actually buckled down and got serious about taking they call it the CPAT. It's the Candidate Physical Ability Test. And you had to take that before you can apply for pretty much any firefighter job. I'm going to try to say every single thing. I might miss some of it, but like the main thing is you have to wear a 50-pound weight vest the entire time. And the first portion of it, they add 25 pounds, which is altogether 75. And you have to do 3 minutes on the Stairmaster machine, which is pretty much you just walk upstairs constantly for 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And then after that, when you get off, they'll take the 25-pound vest off, and you'll walk over and you'll grab a hose, and you'll carry it a certain distance. I'm not really sure, and but you have to carry it a certain distance and then pull it in, and for a certain distance. You need to do a ladder raise. You have to raise a ladder from all the way from the side, like on the ground, raise it up like this, and then to go to the next ladder and then raise it up, just raise it all the way up. And then after that, you have to go you have to grab a sledgehammer. You have to hit this thing, kind of simulating forcible entry, breaking a door down pretty much. And then you have to do the equipment carry, which you have to pick up 2 chainsaws pretty much and sit them down and then carry them a certain distance and come back. And you have to do the search, which is you have to go in this tunnel, and you have to go over something, under something, and around something. And it's all in the dark, which that's not too hard. And you have to go and grab it's either 165 or 185 pound dummy. You need to carry it a certain distance and come back. And then you have to grab a tool and push up and pull down a certain amount of time on a weighted plate, pretty much, kind of simulating pulling down like the ceiling and stuff whenever you're in a house fire. And I think that might be it. If you have any questions, you can always look it's called the Alabama Fire College, their website, and they have links to that, and it'll show you videos, step-by-steps. It'll even have a tab for how to become a fireman, and it'll show you step-by-steps on there too, the things that you have to do. Okay, so after I got my CPAT certification, I had to, I automatically started applying. I applied to Russellville, which they had an opening then, and then other places too. And pretty much I guess a lot of the training per se would be done beforehand, because you have to do a lot of training just for that one test. I don't know anybody that's been able to just not train and just, to take that test and pass it. So that's going to be one of the biggest things is you're going to have to train, just go work out a lot. By workout, I mean mostly just do the stairs at a local football stadium and that kind of stuff. But then once you take CPAT and you pass it, you have 1 year before that certification runs up to become a certified firefighter. So within that year, you have to either do what they call self-sponsor, which is pay for yourself to go through the recruit school, or you have to get hired on a department, and then they'll pay for you to go through rookie school. And once you go through recruit school, then you'll be a certified firefighter. But for me, I got hired on within, I want to say, 2 months of getting my certification. And then after that, I got enrolled in school within a month or two. And then after that, it's supposed to be 9 weeks for us because of COVID. Everything gets messed up with COVID. It was turned into like 19 weeks. We went to school for 2 weeks, and then we were off for 10 weeks, and then came back the rest of the 7. So, but yeah, rookie school is supposed to be, or it was for us, it was 9 weeks. I think they changed it this year to 10, maybe. Yeah, so the way that works is if you get hired on at a fire department, then they pay for your way to go to school. That's really the best way to do it. Is to get hired on at a fire department, and then once you do, they pay for your recruit school. And if you have to, some departments, that's all they require is just it's called just Firefighter 1 certification, or Firefighter 1 and 2 is what you get after you've graduated. But for us, we require EMT as well. And so they paid for my EMT, because the first time I went through it a couple of years ago, I didn't pass, but this time I did. So, but yeah, they paid for all of my schooling. So yeah, I'm not sure, because really there's so much. There's been so many times where, you know, I've just thought, man, I love this, and I'm happy that I did it. I made the right decision. I guess for me, it would be just the brotherhood every day coming in. When we do that, we have to do a shift change at 7 o'clock. And so usually the guys that are leaving, they'll stay over a few minutes, or we'll come in. Whoever's coming in usually comes in a few minutes early. And that's when we can sit around and drink coffee or just watch TV and talk. And it's kind of just, mostly the reason why we do it is to say, hey, this is what happened yesterday, so this is what you need to look out for today, or whatever. But the big thing with that is we do sit around and just, you talk to each other, you get to know each other, and you build that a firm relationship with each other, not just with your shift, but with guys your own age or guys your own rank. And I guess that just the everyday coming in or when I'm leaving and being able to talk to each other, and just knowing that you have somebody that's always got your back no matter what. It's pretty close, because there's been a lot of times, you know, with all those different shows that you go through stuff. I guess the biggest thing for me is like mental health, and that's a big thing even in first responders now. And I've noticed a lot of times on those different shows, they kind of point at that a lot, because that's a big thing, that like cancer awareness and that kind of stuff. But like, you know, seeing how those guys interact with each other, and when they're going through tough times, and they're able to just be there for each other and help each other out to try to get through the tough times, you know, the tough situations, whatever it might be. For that, it's pretty accurate. And then with the jokes and everything else, and the kind of like trying to pick on each other and, you know, do different pranks and stuff, like that stuff is very accurate too, especially in the fire service. Okay, yeah, so like one of the reasons why it's so much harder for, I guess, guys in general, I mean, it's hard for teenagers, because I guess for teenagers, you're just in that awkward stage in life where you're trying to figure stuff out, and you're trying to kind of, I guess, be more independent. But for guys, you know, it's a lot harder for guys, because they feel like they have to be, you know, that macho man, like, I'm a man, you know, I can do whatever. I've got this. I don't need anybody's help. And all reality, especially for like youth and foster care, you know, I've seen it more with youth and foster care, have that macho man mentality in a way. I mean, of course, any teenage guy's going to have that, but you know, I don't know why that is. I guess because, you know, a lot of guys in foster care, especially, grow up without a dad, so they just kind of feel like they just know what they see on TV as far as what a man's supposed to be like, and they kind of have that idea that you're supposed to be able to do everything without anybody's help. And in all reality, you can't do anything without anybody's help. You have to have help all the time. And so for me, I don't think I ever had that issue in a way as far as being able to say, hey, I need help. I've always been the guy that's like, hey, you're good at this, help me get better at it. And so especially with mental health, I've always I've always tried to be a voice for, the mental health stuff, because I've struggled with mental health issues a lot, and like with depression and a lot of different things like that. And so, I like to talk about it and let people know, like, hey, I've struggled with that my entire life. So, and I'm a big, strong fireman or whatever. That's what a lot of people think. They're like, oh, well, you're a big fireman. You don't have to worry about anything. No, we do. We see a lot of stuff, and that's probably one of the biggest downfalls. But we do see a lot of stuff, and we have to learn how to cope with that. And for me, I guess my time in foster care and some of the stuff that I've been through in my life, I have learned different coping mechanisms. Some are great, some not so great, but I've learned how to cope with a lot of different stuff. And I mean, I'm still having to learn. And I think every day you learn different things. And so for me, every call, you kind of learn different stuff. There's some calls that don't bother you and some that do. And so I would highly recommend anybody that thinks that they might have any kind of issues, seek help. I mean, if it's a social worker, if it's a parent or a close friend, anybody, if you have any kind of issues with anything, just tell somebody, like, hey, I need help. I'm struggling with whatever it might be, that helps somebody out, because there's been times where I've known people that they didn't hear that and it was too late, but hopefully that will help somebody out.